Trevor, just take me back to your introduction into lacrosse and what it was like growing up in New Jersey.
Yeah, so I started playing lacrosse in sixth grade, and I started because I played football, and all my friends I played football with, not all of them, but most of them played lacrosse in the spring, and they said I should start playing, and then I just was like, yeah, I want to hang out with my friends, so I started playing. And then it just kind of went on from there, and then fell in love with the sport. Had some great relationships through the game, and it's taken me to some pretty sweet places. So
Now, when you started playing, were you the only African American out there on the field in all the camps that you would go to?
for the most part, yeah. I think there's maybe one or two. So yeah, it's definitely pretty polarizing for someone playing a sport, and you could be pretty intimidated that no one really looks like you when you're out there. And it's definitely something I had to get used to. Something I was kind of used to, just kind of through the circle of people that I grew up with, but definitely something that is surprising. It was surprising for me, and surprising for a lot of people, I think, that are getting into the sport.
How did you process that, especially at a young age of learning the sport? But how did you kind of compartmentalize the thought of, there is that no one that looks like me, and how did you not let it affect you?
I think there's two things about that. I think one, I had great friends and great people around me. Not to say that I didn't encounter some maybe discriminatory situations towards me. I did, and I'm sure it happens all the time. I know it still happens all the time. But for the most part, my friends were great people, and they really made me feel welcome and included, which made me feel good, and kind of lowered that factor of feeling different, I think that was one thing. The other thing I think was I just kind of got over it, I think with age and continually doing it, I felt like I should be part of this just as much as everybody else, and hey, I really like this sport. I feel like I don't need to look or act a certain way to be a part of it.
Why do you think lacrosse, it has that stigmatism of it just being a white sport?
I think there's a couple things. I think one, lacrosse isn't very accessible, so it's a very expensive sport, so it's not really spread out over a lot of socioeconomic classes, and a lot of people don't really know what it is. And I think that's a huge thing. I think accessibility of a sport is what really makes it grow, and I think Warrior, obviously, and New Balance do a great job of lowering that aspect of the game, because if people don't know what the sport is or can't get the sport, they can't physically obtain it, then it's never going to grow, and I think I think it was obviously popular in predominantly white areas, of the nation. So, and I think because of that non-accessibility and that, I guess, tradition, or where it started, not where it started, but where it where more people started playing it, I think that's what's kind of made it not really diverse.
Mm-hmm. Now, if there's any young kids out there, and not just for African American kids, but just minorities in general, if you could give them any advice, what would that be to kind of pick up a stick and not worry about these type of racial issues? Because, like you said, some people are still being discriminated against.
Right. I'd say first, have fun. Have fun. Believe in yourself. I think believing in yourself seems like such a simple thing, but I feel like a lot of people don't do it. I mean, I think to this day I don't do it. You know, in a lot of situations I second guess myself or think that I'm wrong or think that maybe or care too much about what other people think. You know, and I think if you just believe in yourself and work at it, you know, you should be able to do things that make you happy. You know, if the sport makes you happy and you enjoy doing it, then do it.
Yeah.
Do it with a smile on your face and don't worry about what other people have to say about it. And if you're one of those people that has something bad to say about it, then that's on you. You know, not a diverse or any person trying to start something. It's on the other person that wants to say bad things, I guess, or do bad things, or be uninclusive or unaccepting.
Where do you hope the sport gets to in the next, let's just say 5 and 10 years, where if we had like a breakdown of what the sport looks like?
Where I think it's gonna go, I think it's gonna keep growing. You know, I think there's a lot of programs out there that are really starting to grow the game between everyone, and I think more people are understanding what it is. I think there's definitely the need to tell people what lacrosse is in general. And I think when that happens, I think a lot of people are gonna like it,
Right.
enjoy it. So.
Yeah, and then hopefully the next 5 to 10 years, and not just the next 5 to 10 years, maybe next year, people won't have to say, especially in the African American community, that it's not just a white sport, but it's just a sport. It's a sport that every kid can play, and everyone can play, and everyone can succeed, and you can be just like Trevor Baptiste one day.
Thank you. Maybe, hopefully better.
Yeah.
So.
All right, thanks, Trevor, so much.
Thank you.